The lights of the grand stage shimmered as the audience settled into their seats, buzzing with anticipation. Another day of incredible performances was about to unfold on the world-famous stage of America's Got Talent. The judges, Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Sofia Vergara, and Howie Mandel, sat behind their glowing desk, ready to witness talent from all corners of the world. None of them expected that a quiet boy from the Philippines would soon create a moment so powerful that people would later ask the unbelievable question, is Elvis Presley reborn? When the host announced the next contestant, the crowd clapped politely as a small Filipino boy walked onto the stage. He looked humble and slightly nervous, holding the microphone with both hands. At first glance, there was nothing flashy or dramatic about him. But sometimes, the most extraordinary surprises come from the most ordinary appearances. The boy introduced himself softly, explaining that he came from a small town in the Philippines and had loved singing since he was very young. His biggest inspiration, he said, was the legendary king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. The judges smiled politely, having heard many contestants mention famous inspirations before. But when he said that Elvis's music had shaped his voice and that he hoped to honor the legend on stage tonight, a ripple of curiosity moved through the audience. Simon Cowell leaned forward slightly, intrigued but cautious. Performing Elvis songs is incredibly difficult because the style, tone, and charisma of Elvis are nearly impossible to replicate. Many have tried, but very few have ever captured the spirit of the icon. Still, the young boy looked determined, as though he carried a dream much bigger than the stage in front of him. The music began softly, the familiar opening notes of an Elvis classic filling the theater. For a brief moment, the boy closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and then started to sing. The very first note froze the entire room. Gasps echoed across the audience. The voice that emerged from that young performer didn't sound like a child trying to imitate Elvis. It sounded uncannily similar to the voice of Elvis Presley himself. The rich tone, the smooth vibrato, the emotional depth, it was all there. Even the judges' expressions instantly changed. Simon's eyebrows shot up in disbelief. Heidi Klum covered her mouth with shock, and Sofia Vergara leaned toward Howie Mandel as if to say, "Are you hearing this?" The resemblance was almost eerie. For a moment, it felt as though time had folded in on itself, and the spirit of rock and roll history had returned to the stage. As the performance continued, the boy's confidence grew stronger with every verse. He moved with the subtle rhythm and charm that Elvis was famous for, yet he never seemed like he was simply copying the legend. Instead, he brought his own sincerity and passion into the performance. The crowd began clapping along, completely swept away by the magic unfolding before them. Some audience members even stood up before the song had finished. Cameras captured stunned faces everywhere, people whispering to each other, shaking their heads in amazement. The judges looked at each other repeatedly, almost speechless. Simon Cowell, known for his brutally honest critiques, could only smile and watch. Moments like this are rare on talent shows, moments when something truly special happens that nobody expected. When the final note echoed through the theater, the room exploded into thunderous applause. The entire audience rose to their feet in a powerful standing ovation. The boy looked stunned, almost unable to believe the reaction he was receiving. Heidi Klum clapped enthusiastically, Sofia Vergara shouted "wow" several times, and Howie Mandel laughed in disbelief. But the moment everyone waited for was Simon Cowell's reaction. Simon leaned forward, paused for a moment, and then said something that would later spread across the internet. He admitted that he had heard thousands of singers over the years, but rarely had he heard someone capture the essence of a musical legend so convincingly. He praised the boy not only for his vocal ability, but also for the emotion and authenticity he brought to the performance. According to Simon, it felt less like an imitation and more like a tribute that truly honored Elvis's legacy. As the episode aired and clips of the performance spread online, viewers around the world couldn't stop talking about it. Millions of people watched the video within days, leaving comments filled with astonishment and admiration. Some joked that Elvis had been reborn, while others simply celebrated the incredible talent of a young singer who dared to dream big. The performance became a reminder of how powerful music can be, how it can cross generations, cultures, and continents. A boy from the Philippines had stepped onto the stage of America's Got Talent and reminded the world why the voice of Elvis Presley still resonates decades later. Whether or not anyone truly believes Elvis could be reborn, one thing became clear that night. True musical spirit never disappears. It simply finds new voices to carry it forward. Microphone sparkles.